The news continues in West Africa, where Niger Republic and the United States have announced they had reached a disengagement agreement with the reading of the joint statement aired on Niger's public television, Tele Sahel, which also showed members of the U.S. and Niger military meeting. The Director of External Relations and Military Cooperation for Niger said it is therefore agreed that this withdrawal will end on September 15, 2024 at the latest. However, both sides added that the withdrawal would not affect ties relating to development in Niger. Niger had been a key partner for the U.S. in combating insurgents in the Sahel region who have caused significant loss of life and displacement. Now, residents of Kinshasa, the capital of DR Congo, have reacted a day after the army said it had thwarted a coup attempt. The residents are asking questions on how assailants can storm a minister's house without the authorities being informed. Clashes were reported between men in military uniform and guards of the local politician at the said politician's house in Tshatshi Boulevard, about 2 kilometers from the presidential palace and where some embassies are also located. 2 police officers and one of the attackers were killed in the shootout that started around 4:30 a.m. Now, to discuss this, I'm joined by a foreign policy expert, Bolu Michael Bigi. Thank you so much, Bolu, for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Good evening.
Good evening. So it seems coup attempt is now shifting from West Africa to Central Africa, as we're seeing it. So what are the potential implications of this trend in the Democratic Republic of Congo for regional stability in Central Africa, and of course, we scale it down to Africa as a continent?
Okay, it's quite unfortunate that this is happening again on the African continent. It seems to be one of the most unstable continent in the world right now, and this is a very unstable season, in recent history. And there seems to be now from a wave from the West African region to the Central African region. And this may have been inspired by the success of the coup attempt or the coup in the West African region, being that, this government, this coup, this military government seem to have, successfully implemented their soft power tactics and have been kind of legitimized and are still in power, and it seems everything is going fine, have been accepted into the international community. However, for the case of Congo, they don't exist in isolation. They're often targeted, and this may be as a result of premeditated issues, maybe political vendetta in some way, or maybe the government of Congo is not agreeing to certain demands of, foreign interest. So until, we have more details about that before we can really get to know.
Well, Michael, it's quite interesting that according to reports, about 3 Americans were said to have been involved in this particular coup in the DR Congo. So how significant is the involvement of foreigners in this coup attempt? And what could be the broader geopolitical motivations behind such an involvement?
Well, it could be, it's likely that it's as a result of, the interest of the foreign powers not being met in a way, because it's also a sign that, the government of Congo is maybe weakening in a way, because there's no way that they would, have such strong security breach without an insider. So it's often kind of premeditated over a period of time, and it's quite unfortunate. And this may have been inspired by the recent event in the West African region. And find this American, these American citizens being used as tools to, foil this kind of, to carry out this coup attempt may just be as a result of, their skill or expertise in terms of military ability. They may not actually be working for the American government. So till before we really know what the situation is in Congo.
Well, it's quite interesting, Biggie, that you are saying that there could be some sort of international interest in what is happening in DR Congo. And it's also interesting that a representative of the U.S. A couple of hours ago said that she was surprised that Americans were involved in the coup. But then one of our guests, Dr. David Masanga, said that it is the notion or common knowledge that there should be instability in DR Congo so that the so-called interested parties from the international scene within the confines of the international curtains are able to pilfer the mineral resources in DR Congo, of course, in the country. That helps them to steal the natural resources there. That is why you would have continued instability in the country. So tell me, are you surprised?
I'm not. I'm surprised that Americans are involved because it now makes them a third party in the crisis. You know what's going on in the country. However, if we look at it, countries that are rich in natural resources, most countries that are rich in natural resources, if not all, in the 90th percentile, are unstable and they're perennially unstable. Is it Nigeria? Is it the Middle East? And Congo, it'd be interesting to know, is the richest country in the world in terms of natural resources. And this country has never been stable at least since I was born. So now, so the guess may have elements of truth, being that it kind of distracts the people from defending themselves. It distracts the international community from actually calling the Western interests or the foreign powers into order. And this distraction allows them to now spend time and actually extract these resources for their own advantage. So there might be elements of truth that this country is perpetually unstable, and the reason behind them is their resources.
Okay, Bulu Michael Biyi, foreign policy expert, thank you so much for sharing your insights with us.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.